My name's Dagley and I'm one of the dietitians at Colac Area Health, which is a rural health service located in southwest Victoria. We're an integrated health service, which means we not only have a hospital but we have an aged care facility and a community health centre all on the same site. I work across all areas of that health service. So my workload typically includes working in a clinical setting in the hospital, so working on our acute ward. It also involves working in a community outpatient clinic a couple of times a week. There's also part of my role is doing some food service work in regards to our menu reviews. We also have an opportunity for me to do health promotion, so I do that on a weekly basis, and there's also opportunities to work in the haemodialysis unit as well. So a very varied role. Being in a rural health service, you often actually get a lot more opportunities to do things that might not be possible if you're in a larger metro hospital. You often see types of clients or patients that would normally be allocated to a more senior or specialised dietitian. So you definitely got a lot of variety and opportunities that you wouldn't necessarily get, which does mean it's challenging, but it's also really rewarding and interesting. One other thing that I find is really fantastic is that because you're in a smaller department, you often work closely or more closely with other allied health professionals that you wouldn't necessarily have as close contact with in a metro health service. So we have a very small team in that there is only 2 dietitians, so we work closely with the speech pathologists and the physiotherapists, OTs and so on. And we actually are all in the same building and some of us even work in the same rooms together, so we've got different clinicians, different allied health professionals working a lot more closely on a more regular basis. Ironically, the things that are the best part of it are also the most challenging. So when you're in a smaller department, you find that there's less resource people to go to potentially for maybe that specialised knowledge or advice that you might need to draw upon. And that means that you do actually have to be really good at having the initiative to develop your own networks, to also find those people that are great contacts to have to draw upon for that advice. So you have to feel comfortable with not being a specialist, but you also have to feel that you can access or draw upon a lot of information so that you can feel comfortable dealing with those different types of conditions that you might come across. And knowing it's okay to ask for some help as well if you need from more experienced people. It's really important that your placement supervisor and site feel that you've put in some effort to understand what their organisation's like. It never hurts to do a bit of pre-reading or some, looking at websites and policies. It shows that you're keen, it shows that you're passionate, and that's what we as supervisors really like to see in our students. I'd say make sure you're very familiar and comfortable with your project outline that you've been given, because you often depending on the site, you might not get that much contact with your supervisor, so the times that you do meet up with them, those are the times that you want to make sure that you're getting all the information you need to be able to do your project in the way that they're expecting you to do it, and also a way that's going to give a good quality project. One is really to be professional at all times. That's not only in the way that you dress and present yourself, but also the way you interact with other staff, also with your placement partner, but also people that you come across on a day-to-day basis. It's very important that you're professional because you are basically representing the organisation that you're doing your placement on, so we're keen for you to make a good impression and represent us well. Really try and be respectful of other people's time, so when you are interacting with your placement supervisor, being aware that they've got quite a lot of other things in their day they need to do as well. So if you can make sure that you're very well prepared when you do meet up and capitalising on that time, but also being aware that they have predicted time that they need to be utilising to get their job done too. So just being respectful of that's really helpful and much appreciated. Just try and make sure you're taking advantage of all the opportunities that are available on placement. It's one of those those opportunities where you might be doing things that you may never get to do again in your career, depending on which path you take, but those might actually be the opportunities that are more useful in deciding where you want your career to go and paths that you do want to take. So if you can use all those opportunities, I'd highly recommend it.